Hello, I'm Angie, and today I'll be introducing my project, The Storyteller, a library theatre hybrid. I decided to design a library theatre hybrid into our site as an intervention. Our site is located strategically in the education district of Kota Tinggi, and from my personal literature review and analysis of the site, I found out that one of the main concerns of the education system in Malaysia is its lack of creativity and structurally rigidness due to its non-creative approach in teaching, as well as the lack of appreciation of the very rich culture and history of Kota Tinggi by its citizens, causing it to be underdeveloped. These two reasons actually overlap slightly, where the years of rigid education system has caused our people to be uncreative in developing and seeing potential in their homeland, and hence the storyteller, a contrasting blend of two vastly different typologies, the library and theatre, that represents itself as a solution to the lack of underappreciated culture and creativity through two contrasting yet very similar elements, books and plays. After that, I started analyzing the literature and filmography inspired by Kota Tinggi. And what I came up with was that the written manuscripts acted as a base and a source of knowledge that was densely packed with information. Where plays and films were fanciful, delightful, very expressive and visual. While both are quite different, they complemented each other. And further studying this was my dissection of how the storylines of these books and plays were structured and composed. This synthesized a space that was connected as such of a story and teller through the exposition, climax, and denouement. This brought upon my basic form, two cubes representing the story and the teller, where both are exactly the same size and shape, just like books and films, how they convey the same story. However, how both are expressed and materialized sparks interesting conversation between the two. Where on a spatial experience, users are brought into my space through such of a story, through exposition, a ground floor area of shared open spaces of both the library and theatre, easing the users into the magical story. And that's the climax. The staircase that is accelerating and brings users up into the tipping point. And then the denouement, a library and the theatre space. For my formal library space, it is a box space within a space, where you go through a journey of grids and 2D floating cube that stores the rich history of Kota Tinggi, with a staircase within the cube connecting the entire 3 floors of the library. For my formal theatre area, it is a huge daunting sphere centered in a cube form. Similar to how plays are, it follows the same seemingly boring plot. However, it's visualized in a magical way. Well, also having the idea for a floating hollow cube that might store a stage or act as a sculpture. Yet its hollowness allows visual connection between the library and theatre space, allowing for a conversation between the two spaces. So let's get into my plans next. As you can see, I allowed for a more pedestrian-friendly approach in my building, with the frontal area facing the river void of any vehicular lanes, allocating 2 drop-offs as well in the center back and right side here, where parking is also allocated at the side as well. Next, going into the ground floor plan, I have a section of several main spaces, mainly the open theatre, open library containing the community and children books, as well as a cafe by the stage and seating area. Services such as the toilets, lifts, prayer rooms are located in the area in the back away from the river. Well, I also located the TNB substation and refuel station here. Next, for the first floor, a pair of staircases flanks the front and back end of the building, using vertical circulation for both main spaces, and the office spaces for the librarian and theatre is shared here with a toilet right next to it. This theatre space has an indoor practice space and a open performance space, while in the library there is a staircase with a cube leading up to a volumetric space full of historical books, with open reading spaces wrapping the cube, while also a staircase is also located in between the two spaces going into the floating cube. While on the second level, main spaces are the formal theatre backstage and a library space. While on the third floor, there's a exhibition space for the theatre area and also private discussion rooms at the library. That's all for my presentation. Quite short, but sweet. Thank you.